Welcome back to the Guardian Alliance. Today, we are opening Mastery Ring 1 yet again. The adventure begins as we explore the axis of the warrior and the healer. Today, joining me on this session is David Beaudry, author of the Warrior and Healer courses in the Guardian Alliance Mastery Ring 1 series, and also Qigong Master and Universal Hero. David Beaudry, welcome to us. Welcome. Thanks you for being here today.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, man. It's such a pleasure to connect with you and connect with other people who are on the path, excited to explore and expand your potential, So we're going to have a good time. We're going to go through a couple of really primary principles of the connection between the warrior and the healer and how to apply it to your life. So it's going to be a lot of practice today, and I welcome you.
Thanks so much, David. Yes, so we're in this session of the Mastery Ring 1 series. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be exploring each of the axes of potential within the body and within the being. So in this first session, what we're looking at is physical mastery and interpersonal mastery. And so some of the things that might come to mind as superhero activities that you might engage upon that links these two gifts is conflict resolution, for example, and also how you show up and how you work your leadership actively within a group of people. To understand how a group of people are feeling, how their bodies are flowing, if they're not healed, if they're not in a space where they can be fully present and get down in their physical body and take action, then they can't do much. So through physical strength and also interpersonal leadership, connection, and empathy with others, we develop a lot of really incredible capacities. So today, one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to drop into an energy practice that's meant to just connect you right into your Jed, light up your Jedi self, and turn on your higher levels of sensory perception within your energetic body. So I'll call this one yin and yang, which is just yang and yin, or yin yang. And it's basically a practice designed to open up your senses in a deeper level. So to begin, you're just going to sit or stand, whatever you're doing, looking at the computer. Just take a moment and just get really still. Just feel the surface of your skin. Feel the weight of your body. Feel your solidity, your bone structures all stacked up. And just quiet your breath until it's almost like you're not breathing at all. And just listen to everything. Let your eyes relax and just let in all the light. Just choose one point to look at or even close your eyes. Let it all in. Let in the taste in your mouth, the feeling of your skin, the sound in your ears, the light in your eyes, the smell in your nose. Just let it all in and become super still. From this place of stillness, feel anticipation. At any moment, I might snap my fingers or clap my hands, and when I do so, you're going to take an action. But right now, you're just still. Right now, everything is silent and you're just listening. Now, when I snap my fingers, the action you're going to take is you're going to put all of your body's force, all of your muscle strength. You're going to squeeze every muscle in your body and you're going to take a full, deep breath with everything that you have. But not yet. Just anticipate that that is coming. Be aware that you're going to have to explode into action in any moment. And try to relax as you feel that subtle tension arise in you, getting ready. Soften, relax, anticipate, feel the preparation inside of you. Now, Now feel your body. Notice how exploding into action from that place of yin has alchemized with the yang of your action, your outward force. This is the beauty of the interplay between the warrior and the healer path. The healer sits in the stillness, listening, softening, deepening, becoming more aware of the flows of energy and emotion in the space around them. And the warrior is held like a bowstring, taut, present, but relaxed at the same time, until a moment when action is needed. And only in that moment does the string release. Does the warrior explode into the action? Does the physical body come alive and express itself in the moment of need? So this is a very important practice for superheroes, is to know how to be still and silent and open up all your layers of higher sensory perception. And then from that information, from that wisdom place, acting with precision and grace.
Thank you, bro. So what we just experienced is the connection between movement and stillness within our being. And from, I played sports for many years. And so I knew how to move. I knew how to run. I knew how to hit, and I knew how to strengthen my body. And I didn't know how to still my mind. There were times playing sports, playing football, where I found this still point, the zone. And I was like, wow, what is this? And how do I access it more? So maybe you're asking that question. Maybe you've touched these places of stillness through a practice or through some athletic endeavor, whether it be dance, movement, whatever. And so then the journey began. Okay, what is this? And so through meditation, I was like, okay, let me explore stillness. I'm breathing. Okay, I'm thinking, things are happening. And I began to get very frustrated and agitated, and then from that place, I was like, I don't think I'm doing it right. I don't know how to meditate. This isn't going to work out, and I run into many people who are like, can't meditate because as soon as my mind gets still, my thoughts are racing. And that's because of the dualistic world we live in, especially now with the high technology that we're always experiencing. Our attention span has grown shorter. Our attention span is about 8 seconds. And so that monkey mind constantly jumps from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And so when you quiet your mind, all of a sudden it's like that stat tracker on, ESPN or it's just like ding, 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 ding. All of a sudden, all these thoughts start bubbling up. And when you have the focus and the patience with yourself in a non-judgmental way, pretty soon, just like sometimes I manage like leaves off a tree, all of these leaves, all of these thoughts, pretty soon one drops, another drops, another drop. Pretty soon that tree is bare and your mind finds a place of stillness. Now, there is a way to find that still point faster. It's not a race, but, when we practice moving meditation, it gives your mind something to focus on. So those of you who are involved in a movement practice of your own, you may have already found this. And that's when, something like a Qigong or yoga really helped bridge that gap between stillness and movement. And I was like, oh, it's this constant dance, this interplay, So knowing that the stillness you're cultivating in your seated practice can and will be benefited from a mindful movement practice and vice versa. So it wasn't until I began practicing Qigong and I was just focusing on my breath and the movement that everything else disappeared. And then I was like, oh, this is meditation. I'm not trying to still my mind. I'm not trying to quiet. I'm so focused. The only thing that exists is now. So we're going to explore that today. And through the mechanism of the breath. There's an author, an amazing Buddhist teacher. His name is Reggie Ray, and he's got a book called Touching Enlightenment. It's a really amazing book. And in it, he basically talks about the importance of using the body as a mechanism for awakening and enlightenment, you know, because just like anything, we can use spirituality or, you know, our job or our athletic pursuits as an escape, you know. So there's a way in which people go to spirituality to solve their problems. And so maybe, you know, you're like, I'm stressed out. I'm going to meditate and feel better. I'm going to meditate and come to a place of peace. And you do that over time, but yet it seems like nothing's fundamentally changing in your life. Maybe for the moment you're a little less stressed, but the circumstances, the relationships in your life aren't fundamentally changing. And part of the reason is because when we go into meditation, if we are not directly connected to the physical body, then we're in, you know, we're in outer space. You know, one of my teachers, you know, he was like, some people, they are so heavenly, they're no earthly good. You know, so we don't want to leave our body, right? There's a time and a place for that, yes, right? But what we're cultivating is a capacity to be here in our body and feel what's going on. So when we're meditating and a thought arises or an emotion arises, really paying attention, like what Adam began with, is like noticing the sensations on your body. So the first principle is attention, paying close attention to where the body is feeling open, where the body is feeling closed, and then being with it, breathing into it and giving it space. And maybe you may touch something that is perhaps, you know, there's fear or sorrow, or there's a depth that you haven't touched before because you're allowing yourself the time to be with it. And so when we give ourselves the time and space to really drop in, just by that awareness, it's like light shining into the dark corner. We don't need to shovel out the darkness. You know, I'm not trying to fix this thing or change this thing. I'm just shining the light on it. I'm giving it presence, giving it space, and allowing whatever needs to move or be felt to arise. So we're going to go through this practice now. The practice itself, there's a book also called The Frequency by Penny Pierce. Awesome book. And so in my Qigong studies and training, there's a way in which we were guided to find our center, you know, our pillar, and know what your home frequency feels like, what your soul vibration feels like, in order to know when other energies start to impede upon your life, right? So as a warrior, it can be very easy to kind of pump through life and close down our heart and just get the job done and force things and make things happen because we're being driven by, let's just say, an uneducated part of ourself, right? We just don't have the realization. And then the flip side, the healer who is perhaps very empathic. And for me growing up, you know, there were times where I would feel really sad or depressed. And I was like, what is this? Because I don't feel like there's something in my life that is actually causing this. And later, as I grew up, I realized, you know, like I was living with my family and my father who dealt with a lot of depression. So that energy was just in the household, you know, and I could feel something very deep and painful. And I started to, you know, wonder and question, and even, you know, thoughts of like suicide at a very young age, at like 9 years old. And I was like, what is this? And then I would come outside of that space, out of the home, and I would be with my friends, or I would be out and about, and the feeling changes, the feeling lifts, you know. And I was too young at the time to really understand that. So it's extremely important as you become more aware of your own sensitivities to other people, to other energies, to find your home frequency. So you know, this isn't my pain. You know, maybe there's a little bit here. It's perhaps agitating a part of me, but this is not my sorrow. This is not my anger to carry, you know. And then we can learn how to cleanse it like that very easily. And know, oh, there's a flavor here. This is something for me to look at. Yes, okay, I'm gonna dive into it. I'm gonna work with it because it's a constant theme, right? So just relax, take a couple breaths. And now the attention, first principle. Bring your attention to your feet and allow your feet to rest about shoulder width apart. Take a deep breath in, raise your shoulders up to your ears, and exhale, drop. Let your shoulders rest in your back pocket. As you breathe, now bring your attention to your crown and feel your crown gently being pulled up. So we're elongating your spine and central channel, giving access to all of the energy gates in your body, all of the cerebrospinal fluid flowing into your brain. And now bring your attention to your tailbone. Let your tailbone just drop into the ground. So you can imagine and actually gently tuck under. So if your tailbone is here and your belly is here, just let your tailbone drop slightly, okay? And just feel how that starts to open up the lower back, called the Mingmen, the life gate, in the lumbar spine, which gives us access to the energy of our lower dantian, or lower energy center. And you can close your eyes if you like. And we begin with simple belly breathing. And if you don't have any practice with this before, just imagine your belly expanding. And with time, your belly will begin to soften. So as you breathe in, feel your belly expand forward like a balloon to the left and right. And then feel your ribs expanding in the back. So your whole rib cage, your belly is going like this, drawing in the energy, the chi, the breath. And as you exhale, gently bring your belly button back toward the spine and just feel a gentle contraction, like a bellows. So this is the basis of many meditative yogic qigong practices. And so we begin by taking a lay of the land and scan your body from head to toe. Noticing where you may be holding tension. Bring your attention to that area and imagine your breath is like a liquid light. Breathing in, filling that area and letting it melt on the exhale. Initially learning how to take stock of where we are. What are you noticing? Where is there discomfort? Where is there ease? So we are in a yin practice, a softening practice. Good. Now as we breathe from a belly breath, we're going to go to what is called a warrior's breath, okay? And so the warrior's breath is used to charge, to cleanse. The belly breath is used to calm and bring our nervous system into balance. What's called the parasympathetic nervous system, right? So already you notice my speech pattern has changed. And when you're in meditation, you'll start to notice very subtle shifts in your actual physical body and your energy flow. Your hands may begin to heat up. You may notice pulsations of energy in different parts of your body. Or you may just notice, wow, I have a lot of pain or tightness in my body, or your spine. The whole point is just becoming aware of your body, becoming aware of your energy. So wherever you notice some pain or discomfort, if you can, put your hand on that area, okay? And then just breathe softly into it. So we are connecting with the warrior, this ability to focus, to feel our body. And the healer, our ability to accept it for what it is, be open to it, right? And already noticing if something is beginning to shift. And now from attention, we're noticing and bringing in the imagination now. So imagining a golden light where your hand is. And you can also just imagine your hand there, your energetic hand. And we're going to take 3 big warrior's breaths. So instead of breathing into the belly like a balloon, we're going to expand the chest, let the sternum rise, let the rib cage expand upward, and your intercostal muscles expand. And just sending that golden light to this area. And if you're noticing an emotional context as well, be with it, okay? We'll do it together. We exhale, imagine all the chi going down into the earth. Big, slow, deep inhale. And then exhale. Gently rocking forward. Inhale, gently rocking backward. And exhale, cleansing. Last one with your spiritual heart. Inhale. Pause for a second and then exhale. Imagine it like golden liquid light flowing through your tissues. And you can relax your arms, your hands. Becoming aware again of your body, your mind. Going back to the belly breath. Perhaps you're noticing more heat, more tingling or vibration. Perhaps there's a coolness. Whatever you're experiencing is perfect. But as we increase our energetic sensitivity, there is no trying to feel the energy. It's simply becoming aware of what's already here. The body's wisdom is here to teach us, to guide us. And now, if you do have a piece of paper or pencil around, just take a note. Make a note of where it was, where you felt some tightness or blockage, and then if there was an emotional context to it as well. Perhaps maybe a person came into mind, a situation came into mind. Perhaps none of that. Perhaps it's just something that's wanting to clear and cleanse. So learning to feel initially, okay, where am I holding? And what is my holding pattern, right? And so after you take a note, just sit back, relax. I know we're sitting nice and tall. Just kind of sit back in your chair. Just take a moment. So even though we're not doing a lot of physical work, the breath work, the mindfulness takes a lot of energy. Good. So as we move forward now, first hallmarks or foundations: belly breath, ground, center; warrior's breath, cleanse, open. You want to find that balance, right? And the balance between movement and stillness, right? We got very still so that we could feel all of the fluctuations of the body, of the mind. And then we became active with the breath. We became more active with the body, right? So we're balancing the stillness and the movement, the active and the subtle, the quiet. For this next portion, we're going to have some fun, okay? So in the body, right, know that we have a great capacity to both heal and also, what's the word I'm looking for? Transmute, okay? So whatever is going on in your life, it is a direct reflection of your inner state of consciousness, your inner state of awareness, and what you're bringing in, right? So as a warrior, you take responsibility for your life, right? But the flip side of that, the kind of shadow side, is becoming very judgmental of your own actions, of your own self. You know, oh wow, this is coming up. Gosh, I'm a big dipshit. This sucks. You know, and so the whole idea is to have that healer's awareness of, wow, okay, this is coming up, and yet I'm going to cultivate the compassion for my own process. I'm going to cultivate the awareness and the gentle kindness for myself, so then I can extend that to others. You know, instead of saying, why are you doing that? You know, and so in this process now, once again, just kind of sit nice and tall. So we're going to be a little more active now, okay? And so the first part is opening the 3 energy centers. In Qigong, it's the lower Dantian, middle Dantian, and upper Dantian. Dantian means elixir field. It's where we transmute energy. So the lower Dantian is our very physical energy called Jing, our essence. So you can think about that as your synovial fluid, your hormones, your blood, you know, your sexual fluids. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Right? And so on the spiritual path, this sexual energy is one of the keys to full awakening and enlightenment, right? It's like the rocket fuel, but we get distracted, you know, we start seeking out ways in which we can utilize the sexual energy, sometimes to our detriment, right? So in the practice of both yoga and Qigong, it's learning how to feel that energy, feeling the rawness, the power, the energy, you know, the love, the passion, whatever the case may be, and learning how to focus it. And we're not trying to bring it up the central channel, but that's what naturally happens as we begin to cultivate, okay? So the belly breathing is key, because you begin to understand this is like your cauldron, and you can feel when your energy is beginning to get low or drained from staying up too late, from drinking too much caffeine perhaps, or from you know, having too much sex, right? So you're like, oh wow, I'm feeling like depleted or empty, you know. So we have that lower dantian. As we begin to utilize the breathing techniques to draw the energy up and in, we begin to have more access to the heart. We begin to have more access to our empathic qualities and abilities. So the middle dantian, which is associated with the heart, and also the middle chakra as well as the throat chakra, as emotion, energy and motion. Because as long as you're human, as long as you're alive, you will have emotion. And the emotions are like the weather. The weather is always changing. There's always, something's always happening, right? And if we're not careful, we can get very sad and upset that it's raining out and it's not sunny and we want to play, we want to have fun, right? And our culture and society pretends that it's always summer and it's always, we should always be bright and sunny and shining and productive, right? When actually we need to come back to balance. Oh wow, it's raining out. Okay, this is great. I get to come in, you know. I get to read or write or meditate, you know, and self-reflect. So just that alone, becoming to notice, oh, the weather of my emotions. When I feel my heart and I'm noticing, oh gosh, I'm feeling some sadness today. I don't quite know why, and it's okay. You know, underneath that sadness, there's a place of complete openness to what is. You know, so the goal of meditation, the goal of qigong or yoga, is not to change your emotions. It's to become aware of your emotions and how they move within you, because then you don't get drawn into it. You know, it's like a little black hole. All of a sudden, you get sucked into a particular emotional field or vibration, and that becomes your default. When in reality, it's just a passing, right? So we're going to work with that, right? And then we'll move to more of the upper Dantian energetic very shortly. Okay. So feel your heart. Okay. And we're just going to rub the hands. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with Qigong, Qi is life force energy. Gong is the skill, the cultivation. So when we rub the hands, we're connecting the left and right hemispheres of the brain. We're also opening up what's called the Lao Gong, the energy center where we project and receive energy. So it's the first point of activation. Now bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. Good. And now just smile. Have the biggest smile you can. Just notice what that does to your field. Whether you feel happy or sad, just smile and notice. Yes. Very good. So now breathe into your belly. And then as you breathe, feel a ripple and a connection up to your heart, like a superhighway, connecting your primal nature with your higher emotions. And then as you exhale, feel this heart energy descend down into your belly. So we are connecting the fire of the heart and the water of the kidneys. As you inhale, feel the belly expand, feel that water element rising up to the heart, nourishing, connecting to the heart. And as you exhale, feel your chest relax down and feel that fire element descend down into the belly. Breathing in with an inner smile, the belly expands and the chi moves up into the heart, cleansing and nourishing. And as you exhale, feel the chi flowing down the heart, down into the belly. Feeling that connection. Continue breathing in this way at your own time for a moment. Noticing how when you focus your attention, naturally your thoughts clear. Very good. Now from here, we're going to expand. So if you're feeling the heart and the belly connection, now we're going to expand another ring up. So you're going to breathe into the belly, into the heart, and then into the mind, and into, imagine like the grand central sun. So relax the body. As you breathe in, feel the belly, feel the heart, feel the mind, then feel the divine cord of light rising high into the sky, touching the grand central sun. And as you exhale, feel the golden frequency and light of the sun pouring down through your crown, nourishing your pineal gland, opening your mind, opening the back of your heart, grounding into your belly, through your tailbone, through your feet, and deep into the earth, going way down into the core of Mother Earth, as if you are a divine battery. So we're expanding our awareness as we breathe in now from the core of Mother Earth, up through the legs, feeling the belly, nourishing the heart, awakening the mind, and sending that chi to the grand central sun, the center of our universe. And as you exhale, flowing down that pillar, the mind, the heart, the belly, the legs, and into the earth. And begin to notice what your home frequency feels like. Call upon your higher self, the aspect of you that is eternal, that is timeless, wordless. Feel it deep within your core, your bones. And as you begin to tune into your home frequency, what does it feel like? What are you observing? What is the quality of consciousness that is with you now? And now bring into mind, and you can just relax and still be in this state of awareness, where this pillar of light, whether you're sitting or standing, and you can move through your day in this way, just emanating in your field. And now bring to mind somebody in your life, somebody you have a little bit of conflict with. Okay. You can close your eyes if it helps. Bring in the situation of the person. Ooh, I just noticed a little ping in my heart. Ooh, okay. And just notice how your field changes. Is there an emotion? Is there a heaviness? Is there whatever the case is? Now, from your heart, from your central pillar, send your love and just send a sense of acceptance for this person, the situation. Not that you're accepting what the situation is or what they're doing is okay, but that it just is. You're not going to resist it. And rather ask the question, what is this person teaching me? As a warrior of light, as a healer, everything in our life is a teacher. What is this person, this situation bringing to awareness for you? Good. And so whatever you're noticing, whatever's coming up for you now, find and breathe in your body where, if there's a place that feels the most you're most drawn to. And we're going to do a simple tapping of this area. We're going to use a little bit of sound. So as you inhale, breathe in that area, and exhale a sigh. So in the ancient healing tradition of Qigong, Ha is the sound of the heart. And each organ system has a sound, just like each person has a name. So feel the Qi being gently transmuted and clearing. Becoming awake and aware. Very good. And then once you feel a sense of completeness, noticing a subtle shift in your body, your awareness. Now, bring that person to mind again. And notice if there's still a similar response in your body or your energy. What are you noticing? So with time, we begin to understand how and in what ways people affect our energy field and how to return to our home frequency so that we don't get moved out of center. And this is a very simple way to utilize the breath in your body as a vehicle for transformation, right? And it's amazing to do at the end of the day, you know? So if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're, highly stressed, or you have anxiety, doing this ha sound 18 times before bed, just tapping, you will sleep like a baby. Okay. Yes. Question.
Yeah, and also, it's important to remember that you may open up certain circuits and release certain circuits during the process, and then through that release, you discover another layer. So as you're doing the tapping, you want to move through your circuits, and EFT, which uses, it's called emotional freedom technique. And if you're a member of the Guardian Alliance, you'll see in the support section, we have a link where you can be part of the World Tapping Circle. And literally once a week, what they do is they connect around the world, and they're basically doing tapping on their meridians and activating these circuits and clearing these circuits in the body with awareness and with speaking words that activate and move through some of the different charges that we may be holding on to from people, from stuff in our business, from belief systems we have. And so for me, one of the most beneficial aspects of this practice, in the way, David, that you were just applying it, is like, I reflect on the person, I do some tapping and some nice release around the energy that I feel is stored up in some place in my body. And then after I do that and I reflect again, I often feel another spot that I need to focus on. And I tap there and I do some ha's there and I feel it, and then I check in again. How am I doing now? And just follow it through the trail of your body wherever it's going, out your arms to your hands, or to your head, or down your belly and down your legs. And if you complete the whole circuit, then you'll feel the whole thread of the emotional tension that's in your body gets resolved. And it's really as simple as that. Some people go through months or years of going to a psychotherapist, taking drugs, and like going through paying thousands and thousands of dollars for someone to listen to their pain and slowly bring up and process through their emotional issues. But as a superhero, we don't necessarily have that luxury. Like, we're alive, we're in action, we're happening right now, we're out in the world, we're making changes, and sometimes our shit's going to come up. And if it does, we have to be able to work with and address that issue quickly and effectively and efficiently and stay present. This might mean, you're out in the field with the force, you're doing a protest, you're like in the UN, you're like working somewhere, and you've got stuff coming up from something somebody just said to you. So while you're standing there, and you're waiting for your next move or whatever, you just start tapping and breathing and hawing and like drop back into that pillar of your breath, drop back into what's going on, work on moving and activating any places in your body that are feeling stagnant. And just by opening those circuits, you're going to feel your whole strength of self and vitality really come back into presence.
Well said, bro. And one thing that's really important, the mind leads the chi. So if you're in a public place and situation, and it might not be quite appropriate to start monkeying around, you can simply use your attention and your breath, and you can do that subtle sigh from the inside out and have received the same benefits. So if you're practicing on a regular basis, building that physical and energetic structure at home, then when you're out in public, you're out in a situation, it's just like, oh, okay, it can be as simply as putting your hand on your belly, and tuning to your breath and, okay, here, yes, that's it, you know. So know that this is like your training wheels. So you want to do the physical practices, the breath work, you know, and then it's like that when you're out in the field. And it's just your mind intention along with your breath connects that energetic link. And then you're like, oh, wow, I just cleared, you know, in seconds what, you know, would have taken days, or sometimes you don't even know. You're like, oh, I'm just feeling kind of stressed and shitty. And, you know, I don't know why, you know, and now you have that feedback response with your body in order to, you know, be emotionally and physically and spiritually, mentally aware and awake, you know? So, yeah,
Yeah,
we're getting close. Yeah.
there's another key linked with that too that we'll deal with through a lot of the Mastery Ring 1 courses, and on through a lot of the courses in the Guardian Alliance, which is, it's about kinesthetic linking. So you'll notice, you know, when David's teaching and he's going through the Warrior and Healer course, he's going to repeat himself several times, and he's going to call forward a really simple idea or really simple phrase that connects to the practice that's happening. And it's a tool that we're going to keep sharing, you know, in live sessions and bringing back to you guys. But the idea is that, you know, when you go through a meditation and you go through a process, you can actually link the energy of the experience of that process to a specific word, phrase, idea, or actually kinesthetic link, which means, you know, a mudra or something like pushing two fingers together in your hand, doing a certain posture with your hand. So again, you know, if you are in public and you don't want to be like, you know, tapping on your lung points up here or something in the middle of, you know, the crowd, or, you know, that kind of thing, you know, you have a whole grid of your entire body's, you know, energy system and meridian points right here in one hand. So if you have a specific point in your hand, you know, or you learn to link, you know, a place in your body to the different places in your hand, then you can actually create those shifts just by, you know, just doing a little point on your hand. Or let's say, you know, in this meditation today that we just did, you know, maybe that piece of like letting go of this issue with this person is a feeling that I want to have more. Like I want to have that feeling of like, oh, okay, that's what it feels like to let this go, right? And so that's what this feels like to let this go, and I feel that charge in my body. You know, I might do an action like stretching open my fingers of my hands like this, and I can do it by my side or whatever, but just the feeling of stretching open my hands, it's like opening, extending, and letting go, and I connect that feeling of that to that feeling in my hands. And then what happens is when I'm in a zone and I'm like, oh my God, this is really intense, I'm feeling all this stuff with this person, I need to let this go. I need to forgive them. I need to work through this in myself. I need to let it go. And just stretch your hands the same way, and you will feel that charge move back through your system. Your body remembers how to do it. Just like, you know, swinging a bat, just like riding a bike, your body remembers the pattern in your energy field.
Yeah, well said. So I know we're getting close to time here. What else did you want to share, Adam?
Well, for today, we just want to mention that, you know, right now the whole Mastery Ring 1 series is open. We do have a few opportunities for highly discounted access to those courses. If you haven't signed up for our list, all you got to do is go to guardian.is and just sign up for the list. And you'll start getting a series of emails from us. We'll send you some awesome discount codes and some resources, additional tools and practices for working with your energy field, opening up your higher sensory perception and awareness so that you can start developing these superhero capacities on a daily basis in your life. And a lot of what Mastery Ring 1 is about is it's not necessarily about how you go in and infiltrate the big structures in the world that need change. We're going to get there. But for right now, the first piece of focus is how do you infiltrate the structures of resistance in your own being to your own gifts in the world and resolve those. And so for the next, couple months, as we're preparing for Mastery Ring 2, and we have a whole fleet of teachers writing courses right now for Ring 2, they're going to be fantastic. I'm really excited about the information that's coming up. But for the next couple months, we're going to keep this practice focus going. And so about every 2 weeks or so, we're going to do another live session like this. The next one is the Weaver and Ambassador session with Alex Fairman. And then we're going to do the Wizard and Starwalker session. And that's with myself. And we're going to be touching each of these major axis poles and helping you to understand that the archetypes of the hero are not isolated to, one path, one thing that you're going to do. If you want to be a warrior, that's great. Be a warrior, train, develop your skills, build your strength, practice the sword, practice martial arts, learn how to resolve conflict, learn how to build your strength. But if you don't integrate the healer inside of you also, then that yang will always overdrive, and you're always going to end up in a place where you're pushing too hard and you're not actually honoring the full circle of the yin and the yang within your being. For the warrior to truly reach its potential, it must also be a healer. If you're going to learn how to fight, you got to learn how to heal. and vice versa, by learning to heal yourself and learning how to bring back the health and the strength in your body, you empower your warrior self. You give yourself the gift to take the actions that need to be taken. And so that's what we explored today. I hope if you guys missed the beginning of the session, check it out again. We will have, there's a link. If you're watching on YouTube, check in the description. There's a link to a page where you can comment, check out some of the Guardian Alliance, watch this live session, see some of the other things we have going on. And again, I hope to see you guys in a couple weeks for Weaver and Ambassador. That's going to be the sacral throat chakra connection field with Alex. And he's a rock star Jedi Knight like us. We really look forward to you guys being there with us. Go to guardian.is if you're just watching this. Love to see you guys soon. Thank you so much. David, any closing comments?
Just go out there in the world and plant those seeds of awakened awareness everywhere you go. Walk in alignment with your soul, with your heart, with your purpose, and, love life. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. Aloha.